Gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Live with M. Dowe with yours truly, your boy Marcus Dowe. Each and every Thursday night, I take the opportunity to sit down with you and talk to a new small business owner. Sitting down talking shop about what it takes to be successful in the world of entrepreneurship. It is true and an honor and a privilege to be able to sit down with these individuals and talk to them. Tonight, I'm sitting down with a special group of friends that I've been knowing for quite some time. These individuals are a native of Corneys Point, Penns Grove, have been invested in the community and been working with kids from coaching to school boards, the whole nine. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome Mr. and Mrs. Greg Martin. Hey, how are you? Good. Come in.
To be here.
What's up, Jay?
What's up, man?
Good. Come in and have a seat. All right. So again, ladies and gentlemen, you are sitting down live with M. Dowe each and every Thursday night where we sit down and we talk shop about what it takes to be successful. Well, I'm sitting down here with the Martins tonight. It is truly an honor and a privilege to be here to be with you guys. I thank you for gracing the stage and being here with me. So before we go ahead and get started, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So I'm Charlotte Martin. I'm married to Greg Martin. And I am a school counselor for the school district. I've been in the district for about 11, 12 years, working as the school counselor at Lafayette Pershing School. Prior to working as a school counselor, I worked for Salem County Women's Services, counseling victims of domestic violence and sexual abuse. And I did that for about 12 years.
12 years?
Yeah. And then ended up working for the agency, but then being housed in the DCP&P office. Okay. And so being the liaison for Salem County. Nice. So I, for the longest, have worked with public service and service-related type of jobs. I love the kids. Of course, the kids I have now are pre-K and kindergarten. I love them.
Don't we all?
Yes.
Don't we all? You know, I can attest to that. You know, being an educator myself, being in there, so that's amazing. Right.
And so basically that's about it. That's what I do now. I've lived in Penns Grove, Carneys Point, for some time. My father was in the service, so I was born in California, and then we lived in Japan, and then we ended up in Carneys Point. So I grew up in Carneys Point, went to Penns Grove High School.
Nice.
And then, you know, after that went further North Jersey, and then ended up back down this area. Yes. Lived in Penns Grove and then now in Carneys Point.
Well, it's an honor to be able to sit down with you, to talk to my followers about what we're going to be discussing tonight, about local politics. So I want to thank you again for taking the opportunity and being here with me. So we're going to have some fun this evening.
Yes.
G, my God, man, listen, everybody knows G, man. You know what I'm saying? My guy, talk to me.
Well, currently, I'm a CDL driver for Pepsi.
Okay.
I actually ended up switching, I call it careers, because I used to work for AstraZeneca, which is a pharmaceutical company. Worked there for like 15 years. And they would always do some reorganization, and I ended up getting laid off. So I was at a point in my life that I wanted something that, was more stable. And I knew CDL drivers was in high demand. And, so I chose to go in a different direction, as far as, what I do for work. But other than that, I done coached everything in this area, from baseball to basketball to football. Football was one of the things that I coached the longest. I coached for about 30 years, impacting different kids, you know, over the years. And it was a really, you know, a joy.
Rewarding.
Yeah. It's really rewarding now, because some of those kids now I'm seeing get married and seeing them off in their careers and stuff like that. I just, when it comes to myself, it's a little hard for me to talk about myself sometimes, because you never want to come off as like bragging. But I think, my passion for community and youth and just like helping people is something that's ingrained in me, because I saw my parents do it. And, that's one of the things that kind of, I think, attracted me and Charlene together, because she was, her mindset was the same. Because when you're not equally yoked, it's hard.
It's
and
hard.
I just tell this real quick. So when I met Charlene, I wasn't coaching there. I was coaching in Harrison Township. And when we first started dating, some of our first dates maybe were like I think one time it was early on. I asked her to go to the mall, and and when we went to the mall, when I picked her up, she jumped in the van, but when she looked back, I had like 15 or 20 kids with me. I was like, I thought we was going to the mall. So, but she didn't complain. She ended up loving the kids.
So from that point, you kind of knew it was like, okay, this is going to work.
Yeah, because we just was equally yoked in that way.
Yeah.
You know
Listen,
what I mean? So
I've learned a long time ago. You say you don't speak about yourself much, but I've learned you never mistake confidence for conceit. You know what I'm saying? When you're doing things in life and you're doing them the right way, it's okay to go ahead and pop your collar sometime because you worked hard for it. So again, I want to thank both of you for being here tonight. We're going to talk about something a little different than what I typically talk about on the lives. But I think it's very important and very pressing because come November, it's time for people to exercise their right. And in the times that we're living right now, we need to make sure that we are voting in the correct people that's going to represent us as residents of, community, state, and so on and so forth. So again, I want to take this opportunity. Thank you all for being here, and let's have some fun with what's going on. So tonight we're going to be talking about Martin and Martin for Cornish Point. Cornish Point Township is located right here in South New Jersey, right off of Exit 4. And you two have decided to go ahead and throw your hat in the ring and run this election. Not only are you running, you're running as a husband and wife on the same ticket. So it's kind of a dual question. And before we get to the second part, Shar, you can go first. What made you want to go ahead and dive into politics here in Cornish Point?
So, I was involved in politics when we lived in Penns Grove. And then I even ran last year for the county seat. And so politics has been a big part. Here's I always quote that Mahatma Gandhi, where it's be the change that you want to see, right? So instead of complaining, when I see something that is really pressing, and it's not only that I want to change, but a lot of people, you're hearing a lot of people say, this is what I feel is wrong, or this is what I want, and we're all feeling the same way. Right. Well, someone has to get in and help to make those changes. So I'm always about change. I'm always about, I'll throw it in there and do what I can do. And so that's the reason why I'm
decided to go ahead.
Decide to go. But I will say, if I can, I was gonna, and I'll let Greg tell the story as to why he wanted to run. But at one point I was going to step back and wait and let him go ahead and run. And, I thought, okay, I can take a year, take a year off or whatever. And so, but there was not, so we're part of the registered Democrat, the Democrat Party, and there wasn't anyone else running. So it's like, you want to see change. Why are you going to just leave the seat empty?
Yeah.
So, and so it was just like we both said, "Oh, we're going to run." It took some
time. It took some thought process back and forth. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I always feel it's like, people a lot of times tend to complain about things, but then I ask myself, if not me, then who? If I continuously just let things go by on, then I'm just like, the others that want to sit and complain and do nothing. So, Greg, a little bit. Tell me, you've been a part of the school board already, so you've already dabbled in somewhat of politics, but now this is a step up. So, what made you want to go in this direction?
I hadn't really even considered running for local government. Actually, people have been really begging me for years. You should run. You should run. You should run. Actually, when Charlene ran in Penns Grove, I actually convinced her to run because I don't consider myself a politician. I consider myself somebody that cares about people, that want to use my voice. And it came about, I just said, you know what? I'm gonna try to run. Because to get a seat at the table, because there's some things going on in Cornish Point. I want to say this. Let me back up. I don't think people are bad people that's currently on local government. That's why I haven't went about this campaign and the bashing campaign and this and that. But you got people that's been on there, and actually one of the people I'm running against, they've been on there for like 20 years. And it's no different than a CEO of a company. They don't keep the same people year in and year out because their thinking doesn't change. So if you get somebody that looks at something different,
A different perspective.
they could make an impact. You know what I mean? But one of the reasons, to answer your question, one of the reasons why I decided to run, I moved to Corneys Point about 2 years ago, and I go to the meetings, and I've asked questions, and it's been 2 years, and a lot of my questions still haven't been answered. So, what do you do about what do you do about that? And it wasn't like hard questions or I'm trying to use trickery or anything like that. It's some things that I want to know. You know what I mean? And I haven't gotten the answers. And then when I talk to residents from here, a lot of residents, I'm very vocal on social media. I have a big social media presence, but a lot of residents here, they're not comfortable. I don't know, because they fear, whatever they fear. They're not comfortable talking about on social media or talking about it in public. People come to me, inbox me, tells me different stories that happened to them. And so I'm like, if somebody eventually has to step up, and be there for these people and myself.
And, I always believe, the only change, when I think of the word change, that is the only thing that remains the same in life. Change is the only thing that is a constant. It keeps evolving. And, being in the education field, I say the same thing about, teachers. I believe that once we get to a certain level in our careers, then, it might be time just to bow out, because your connectivity with the students. Now, if I've been teaching 30 years and, we have this new age of kids coming in, the relationship and the rapport is a little bit strained, based off of things. So, the change has to keep evolving for things to be progressive. It may have happened before, but I can't recall it. A husband and wife ticket, here. We may have to check the archives, but I've never known it since, I've been here. So you guys are running together. How does that feel? Being in the same campaign house, maybe having different ideas, but, having to come to one platform. How does that work? With you guys?
So I can answer that. It really is. But what I tell people is this. If you think me and Charlene gets along every day, you're sadly mistaken.
Absolutely.
So we actually have learned how to agree to disagree. We have debates. We don't always agree about everything. Sometimes I win, sometimes she wins. For me, it would be no different in politics. It's not like we're going to be at home contemplating, we both going, you know what I mean? It's not like that. And like I said, me and her got two different minds. I'm vocal. I'm maybe a little bit more harsher. Some of the traits that I seen in her, father passed away, but some of the traits I see in her is the things that attracted me to her, because I saw her parents. I saw their relationship. Her dad was real easy going, smooth dude. And tell you the truth, a lot of times I'm a little bit jealous of that, because that's not me.
You don't have that temperament.
100%. And don't think I don't want some of that. You know what I mean? So she helps me to sometimes, sometimes I want to do this. She'll be like, no, don't do that. You know what I mean?
I understand.
And although she might think I'm not listening sometimes, when I'm
you're internalizing
about 100%. So we can definitely
agree to disagree.
100%.
Coming from a married man myself, you know what I'm saying, and understanding the married life, it's always a constant roller coaster. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you come to that agreement that is best for the current situation. Sure. You want to add anything into that?
Yeah. So I agree with what Greg said. And the same would be with government, is that we're married, but we are two separate people, meaning even our thinking is, basically we may want the same goal, but we may approach it differently. So like you said, I'm more laid back. I'll listen, I'll watch, before I move. He's more like, oh no, you better, jumping on it right now. which is not a bad trait. It's what makes us unique. Because we're not this clone. Like you're going to get two of the same kind of people. Yeah. You're not.
That wouldn't work at all. You know what I mean? If y'all just sat home and just shared ideas and then it's just one voice, that's not authentic. You know, that's not what the people will be electing you for, to put you in that seat, to have that same. If it was all like that, then one of you should just run. Exactly. You know, it shouldn't be a team. Coming from a former elected, official, being here in Cornish Point, serving 9 years myself, I know how difficult it can be, being up there, behind those closed doors, because on the outside looking in, it's always why, but once you get behind those closed doors and you get an understanding of things that the general public just doesn't know at that period of time, of how this costs and why is this zone this way and all of this other things, sometimes you have to sit back and listen. That temperament has to be scaled back a little bit so that you can understand, what's in front of you. So leading into that, what are the residents of Cornish Point getting from you? What are they getting if elected? Shar, what kind of an elected official are you going to be up there behind that panel?
Transparent to the best of my ability. I understand, when you're in politics, there's some things you can't, that maybe it's in the works and you can't say anything at that point. But I mean, just the simple things, like with just questions from the public. There isn't anything wrong with saying, I don't know that answer right now.
Absolutely.
Let me work on it and get back to you. People want to feel heard. They don't want to feel like you're bothering me by answering these questions, by asking me these questions. And I think I would bring the transparency part. I would bring that. Also accountability, like to make people, organizations, or whatever accountable. So with us, you get that, but you asked me, so I'm telling you what. With me, you would get accountability, transparency, and just plain respecting people for who they are.
This is a job of where the residents elect you to represent them.
Right.
Represent their thoughts, represents their feelings, and represent their pockets. Because with the taxes and all those other things. So, G, what are they getting with you? Electing Greg Martin. What am I getting by casting my vote?
I don't want to hash in transparency part, because Charlene already did that, and I think when it comes to I wear my heart on my sleeve or whatever, what they're getting is somebody that's going to listen to them. That the residents are oftentimes look like they don't know nothing. Of course, they blurt stuff out and this and that, but we have a lot of smart people around here, and you have to sometimes let people vent. You have to listen to people. They may very well have an answer to something that you don't have the answer to. So I want to empower them and energize them to get involved. I'm going to give you 4 examples, and I was going to stay away from this, but it's not really nothing bad or anything. You know this as an elected official. A lot of people in Cornish Point, right? They don't know that they can serve on the sewage authority. I'm not even going to hash into who currently sits on the sewage authority, but for me, I would energize people to get involved in those type of ways. People don't even know you actually get paid for sitting on the sewage authority, and it's not a lot of time. When I served on the school board, and I can see when you serve on local government, what they're getting out of me is I'm going to energize them to either tune in to come to the meetings, listen online, or I'm going to feed you the information that I'm allowed to feed you through different channels, through social media and those channels. But far too long, politicians have taken this attitude. They don't like when people show up, it seems like, in that school board or local government. Let's hurry up and get this meeting over and get out of here.
Before people show up.
Before, you understand what I'm saying? It ain't always got to be bad, but you want people to be aware. If something's coming and you're allowed to talk about it, you want to tell them this business is coming here and it's going to be a benefit to the community. Everything that's claimed to be secret is not always secret. You understand what I'm saying? And I understand some of the things you can't talk about at a time, but I want people to get involved. I want, if I win, I'm searching people out. Yo, man, you should go serve on the sewage authority, or you serve on the recreation committee, or you serve on, you know what I mean?
I love it. The energized, the empowerment, the transparency, the accountability. These are all, verbiage that you use that's describing you as individuals. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, you're live with M. Dowe each and every Thursday night where I'm sitting down with a new small business owner. But tonight I'm sitting down with Martin and Martin for Corneys Point. So ladies and gentlemen, come November, when you see that name on the ticket, you're firsthand right here with Live with M. Dowe. We are doing everything possible to make sure we bring about change here in Corneys Point. So if you're looking for change, you're looking for something different, this may be for you. I'm not here to convince you to vote for any one person, but they are here to tell you why you should be voting for them. So each and every Thursday, I'm sitting down with a new small business owner talking shop. So if you have your own business, you have a testimony, or you support a nonprofit, this is the place for you. Right here, Thursday nights at 7:00. Shar, I've been coming to you quite often. I'm gonna double back and I'm gonna go to G. Talk to me about goals. Goals. What are some of the goals that you would like to either change, implement, expand on, if elected come November?
Oh man, it's so many goals. People, first thing, and somebody asked me this tonight, and I read it when I was coming here, but on social media. But I done made a decision. I'm really going, like, if you want to have a conversation with me, you can. I'm gonna stop answering a bunch of questions on social media, because a lot of times it's people that's not even going to vote for you anyway. So the things that I would like to see, first of all, we have to get, and the unique thing about me and Charlene is this: we care about both communities. Some people don't. And
so you're meaning it's either just Cornish Point or it's either just Penns Grove.
Yes.
It's not both.
And then one ties into the other. Whether people want to look at it, all the kids go to the same school, one ties into the other. So that's one of the unique things that's in the house. Because I still go to Penns Grove meetings. Because I want to know what's going over there. I want to know what's going over there.
It's only right across the yellow line.
100%. So I want to know what's going over there as well. But I think we have to get some youth programs, not one-offs. What I mean by one-offs, and having one-day events is fine. From you knowing us, we didn't host it. I don't know how many one-day events. Just to give the kids something to do. But we need long-term impact. We need things that's going to impact. And I'm gonna send you a letter, my son, not a letter, but an article my son wrote while he's down in college. And that really blew my mind this morning, because you touched on this. You know how when you think your kids is not getting something, but they are, and the things that his business plan and kind of things he wanted to do ties back into what I've been doing all my life. I didn't know he really been watching me like that. You know what I mean?
Until you were able to read that and you realized, man, it's been setting in all the time. It's been setting in all the time. 5 this morning, and it brought a little bit tear to my eye when I woke up and seen he messaged me like 12 something last night. But getting back to your question, seniors, right? Yes. I'm just gonna give you, for example, Miss Almeida lives in the senior building, right? And she's brought up various things to local government. And local government has told her there's nothing they can do about it. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Right.
What I mean is, legally, I know you can't go over there and like start forcing things. I know that. But you can be a voice. You can be a mouthpiece. You can be an advocate. If those people, them seniors, they have nobody, need somebody to advocate them and go talk to management and go talk and make phone calls to Trenton and all that, you should be willing to do that. Right. One big thing, and this is small to some, is what's the name of me? We got a park out here. I'm really deterred, and I've been deterred. She'll tell you this. One time I had a basketball court out in front of my house, and nobody was playing on it. And 3 officers came to my house about this basketball court. Oh, it was 4. Came to my house about a basketball court. Now, I don't know if they expected me to win. I don't play on a basketball court. Right. Every now and then my nephew might come over and get a couple shots up, this and that, but nobody was particularly playing. They told me wasn't allowed to have a basketball court, which I understand. You can have people in the street and all this and that. What blew my mind is I took it down, got in my car, and I rode around the block.
and seen other
Oh,
basketball.
I seen like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And one particular place, the kids always would play. Of course, I wouldn't go tell on them, you know what I mean? Because I know kids ain't got nothing to do. But if you're not allowed to have basketball courts out in front of your house, right? Where are the kids supposed to play at? We're supposed to be getting grant money, and we're supposed to be putting basketball courts up at the Corners Point Rec Center where we got a bunch of land at. Now, I'm not going to go into my reasons why I think no basketball courts is up there.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, if local residents are paying taxes, my kid, your kid, if they want to be able to play basketball and go work on their game, they should have an avenue to go. So
the youth, the seniors, are really like your platform or what you stand. And I know it's so much more, but what you want people to know, is that
what I'm passionate about. I mean, we can everybody hashes in taxes, and I can stay on taxes all night long. And I don't want to go ahead because you may bring something else up, you know what I mean? So I don't want to go ahead.
So sure, your platform, even though you guys are running on the the same ticket, your vision could be slightly different of what you want to see because you're going to be your own voice, your own vote up there. Right. What does your platform look like? Are we on the same accord?
So we are. As far as the youth, I would like to see some sort of youth. We don't have the YMCA anymore, so some sort of youth program, a building for the youth to go. We're always talking about what they're not doing right, and we're always complaining about this and that. But if we had a place for them to go, I've been big on that. I know you have, because I think you were running some sort of youth, and I did it one time, and so I'm very big on a recreation center. And a lot of times we wait, like you said, we're back with as far as we listen to what Pensgrove's doing. But I do realize Pensgrove is small. There isn't but so much they could put in the town. They don't have the land. They don't have that, which Carneys Point we do. Why not have something for the kids? So I believe in that. I believe in having programs and activities for youth. I don't, and maybe there are, and I just hadn't seen them. But I just don't see too much going on with the youth. The seniors, their voice needs to be heard. They've paved the way for us,
and too many times they get forgotten. Why should they have to be living in conditions that they don't want to live? That it's not good. We wouldn't want to live there in those conditions. So why not fight? And I'll say this: when I was on council in Pensgrove, the tenants were complaining at what apartments was it? The Penn Village apartments. And so a few people reached out to me and were like, I don't know. And I said, well, I don't know either, but I'll show up at the next meeting. So the management had decided to have a meeting with the tenants. With the tenants, right. And let me tell you, I was working. And so I used my lunch. I used that time as my lunch. I left work, went over there during my lunch period, and sat there in that meeting and talked with the manager. And the manager was cool, very nice, and said, well, listen, am I allowed to come to these meetings? Because now people are coming to me and I'm representing. This is who I represent. And so he had no problem doing that. So what I'm talking about, I'm just not talking the talk. You walking the walk, right?
Right.
Exactly.
And so I would still be that voice for any resident that I feel is in need or needs something.
That's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sitting down with Martin and Martin here for Cornish Point. And, before we go on any further, I want you to understand that, these two individuals are not sitting here telling you what they're going to change. They're telling you what they're standing for. So I don't want any misconceptions that, come November when it's time to vote, people like to say, oh, well, you made these promises or you made these promises. Being on committee, you will just be 2 of 5. You are 2 votes of 5, and it's a lot of things that have to go through the channels before it can go past. So I don't want anybody to just sit here and say, well, they told us they was going to do, this is what we're campaigning on, but things have to go through. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, you're live with M. Dowe each and every Thursday night where I'm sitting down with a new small business owner, someone who supports a nonprofit, or someone who has a testimony to tell. And tonight we are sitting down with 2 campaign individuals that are running for your vote, campaigning for your vote come November. So please like this video, share this video. Let your friends know everywhere in Cornish Point. If you're not registered to vote and you're 18, get registered to vote so that you can go out and you can exercise your right. Social media, telephone numbers, campaign sites. Where can they reach you? Where can people come and volunteer, help out, get signs from you? Let them know where they can find you.
Well, we're definitely on Facebook, Martin and Martin for Cornish Point Committee. I'm not hard to find. My name is Gregory Mac Martin on social media. I normally get right back with people.
And I'm Charlene Fraser Martin on Facebook, social media, Charlene Martin on Instagram. And so you can contact our Facebook page, which has any information you need. We do have our campaign manager who handles a lot of those. Will get back to us, and he gets back to us at any time of the night. He will get back to us with these are questions. This is what they're asking, or this is what someone needs, and we're quick to answer.
Awesome.
But
I don't want to just say campaign manager because I believe when people are helping you, they need to be recognized. His name is Michael Tinsley. He's been doing a phenomenal job. He's young. So, and the reason it's funny how he got involved. He said I inspired him. He's seen things on social media and he got involved, and he's been running ever since. He's been going to different things. He's been doing a lot.
He's on point.
100%. Yeah, he's God sent.
Watch him, and I'm saying that because I think in a few years we're going to be seeing him on another
platform somewhere.
I can see.
That's what we're here for. You're here to inspire the youth. You're here to inspire the next generation and give them hope that things can change or that they can be, who we say they can be. Too many times we understand words will have impact, whether it's positive affirmations or negative. It has a part in the way we develop our kids. And that's truly amazing. That's a testament for you to say that, and him popping out. Those individuals that want signs and things, how do we go by getting signs for the yard to support? Who do we contact? Do we contact Tinsley? Do we go through you guys?
Tinsley, but we had an overwhelming response as far as signs go. We actually as soon as they come in, we'll have more. So all the other ones are out. And they can contact us through social media. If anybody wants my phone number, I'm not going to share it on here. But if you want to inbox me, I'm you're welcome to have my number, and you can get calls personally, anything like that.
Char, I'm going to double back to you before I go back to Greg, and I want you to look right there at that camera and look at my viewers, and I need you to tell my viewers why they should vote for you come November.
Okay. So, viewers, you should vote for me in November because I am your voice. When you have someone in government, or you vote for someone to represent you, that's really what you want, someone to represent you. You want someone who doesn't have a problem networking with the state or networking with other individuals who could get us the help that we need. I'm not embarrassed to talk to someone if there's something we need as a town. I don't have a problem searching and seeking out other people who could help, because it takes, like they say, it takes a village. It takes a whole lot to make changes in our town. So on November 4th, I need you to vote for Charlotte Martin and Martin. If you want change, and that's what we're running on, change, and all this stuff, transparency and all those things that are falling into the change. You have to start with your committee, and you have to start with putting people on the committee who represents you. Please vote November 4th.
I like that. And before I go back to you, G, a lot of people don't understand. This is really where it starts. And you just said that, Char, at your local government. Your local government is what has the most impact on you as an individual, before it goes up the chain. And what people don't understand is these midterm elections these are the important ones, because these are the ones where you're voting for your local councilmen and committeemen and your sheriffs and, your surrogates and all of these things that then escalate up the ladder all the way up to the national level. So it is very important that we exercise our vote and we encourage individuals to get out and vote. G, tell them, why should they be voting for you?
They should vote for me because my track record. I put them all into everything I do. Ironically, today is 9/11, 9/11, and we know what we all know what happened 24 years ago. And then I just think the country is like really, really divided. Some people won't agree with me when I say this, but I think when it comes to local politics, I don't think Democrat and Republican plays a really, really huge part in the decisions that are made. It's not national. I think you should vote for me, based on who I am and what I represent and who I represent. My voice is going to be your voice. I'm going to listen to the people. I'm going to treat them with respect. I'm not going to have a self agenda. I'm running for the people. I'm running for the people. And I want to be able to be that change. People, when they think of change, I don't want them to think soon as me and Charlene, if we was elected, that we're going to go in there and start changing everything. It doesn't work like that. When I talk about change, I'm talking about changing the players. We don't have no elite alliance to anyone locally, in a sense that where we rubbing elbows with this person and that person. We're going to represent the bum that's on the corner down there sleeping outside, the homeless guy, just as well as we're represent the guy that's down there that has all the money. We don't look at people as being different. We look at people as being people.
That's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, put those hearts up, man. Put those fires up. Let these individuals know that they are appreciated. As I said before earlier in the interview, change is the only thing that remains the same, and in order for things to progress, you have to have that change. So, I truly, appreciate the both of you, coming and sitting down and being transparent. This is something that, conversation could go on and on about the things that you want to see and things that you want to change, but, to not belabor it, just to give people an inside track on who you are and what they're getting from you. That was the purpose of this video. And I knew G was going to get to the question before I could even ask it, but he already gave his answer on it. But I'm going to come back to you, party lines before I let you go. It's a couple more questions. Party lines, Democrat, Republican. Me, I prided myself on doing what was right. What was right was what was right. It didn't matter who brought it to the table, whether it was Democrat or whether it was Republican. I was doing what I thought was in the best interest of the people. How do you favor with party lines?
I agree with what you just said. I am a registered Democrat. Mm-hmm. Does it mean that I agree with everything that a Democrat? No, I don't. So I am my own person and I have my own beliefs, and I believe in just being decent and following what I feel is right. Is right for society. What is right, that people are all treated equally. Mm-hmm. And that they are respected no matter where you come from, that you are respected as a person. So as far as party lines, I don't. It just depends on whatever the issue is. They're
invisible.
Right. It's whatever the issue is. What do we all need here in Carneys?
Right.
What that's what I'm concerned about. What can we do to help make your lives a little
it's so funny. And before I let you guys go, it's so funny. I served 3 terms. I didn't realize. And I want to thank the residents for electing me to 9 years of sitting on Corners Point Council. And, I just sit back and I think, I learn, I listen, and, I bring back to the table what's discussed, and I do my homework. I do my research. I understand that it is a thankless job. I understand that you can't please everybody, but doing what's in the best interest and keeping in mind that the people of Corners Point elected you. It's not about self.
Right.
It's about them. It's about those individuals who have trusted you to be the voice for them. And I always told people, the conversations, and this is a whole nother interview, but the conversations come up of why we didn't have a McDonald's, why we didn't have a supermarket, why are our taxes so high? And sometimes I had to tell people, I live here too.
Right.
I don't want to go to other townships, to supermarkets. I don't want my taxes to go higher, but you'll get that understanding of how things work when you have the opportunity and when God affords you that opportunity to get behind those closed doors. So again, I want to thank you guys, for sitting down with me, for being here. Like I said, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We can double back right before the election and we can get into the nitty gritty of things of what you want to see. But my door is open. And I explain this to you guys for anyone, that wants to sit down, to this platform, because I think everybody should have an opportunity, to solicit their votes for, where they're going. So, last word to both of you guys before I let you go. Anything that we did not cover that you want to, talk about, that you want the viewers to know? And we'll go ladies first and then we'll go Jay.
So all I wanted to do is, because you asked for a contact and we gave you social media, but you can also contact us at martinandmartincampaign@gmail.com. And also our number is 856-390-2219. And you can contact us by that number. Again, it's 856-390-2219 or martinandmartincampaign @gmail.com.
Jay?
Now I want to thank you, first of all, you know what I mean? Anytime anyone using their platform, you invited us into your home. Mm-hmm. I don't take that for granted. I know you are a, Corners Point resident. Mm-hmm. And you're what I consider you as, you're a fair dude. I mean, I haven't known, I probably have known you just about all your life. I'm a little older.
Pretty much.
I'm a little older than you, but, but I mean, just knowing people's families and, knowing your parents and knowing the stock you come from, I don't take it for granted that you invited us, here. I'm just running to try to make a difference. The unique thing about me and Charlene is a little bit different. I'm throwing my hat in the ring and I'm running and I'm trying to be a voice for the people, but I'm not going to lose sleep if I wasn't to win the election. Mm-hmm. Because I'm going to do the things that I've been doing. That you're going to
continue to do
help,
regardless.
When I get food, I'm gonna give food out. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to continue to do the things that I do. I had a difficult time this week, and I actually had to peel back. And this is my last one. So I'm big on. I've been promoting us on social media, but I had to peel back from that because I saw it start going in a negative
direction that you didn't want.
Yeah, so I said I was going to limit my posting on my, because I'm an administrator on that PGCP page. Mm-hmm. So I made a conscious decision that I was going to peel back
from that.
Because you have people laying in, well, I don't care if you support somebody else, but treat me with respect, just like I'm going to treat them with respect. Because the people that we're running against, it bothers me a little bit because they used to speak and this and that. But soon as we threw our name in a hat, I don't take stuff personal. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? One of the people that is actually running the last couple of years around Christmas, they didn't even I guess they got access to some Christmas trees. They came to me and, yo, can you find somebody to get these Christmas trees to and this and that? So they looked at me as somebody that could help and do some things, but now all of a sudden and I don't want the campaign to turn like that. Whoever wins wins.
Well, we're going to stand on our own too. You guys go out and you let your voices be heard just as well as, the opposing parties. They'll go out and they'll represent, and you let the people, the residents of Corners Point, speak, for you,
on November 4th.
And I was always told by a very good friend of mine, Mr. Ralph Padilla, that you can always control the effort, but you can't control the outcome. So as long as you put your best foot forward and do what you can, the rest is up to the people. Right. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are live with M. Dowe each and every Thursday, sitting down with a new small business owner, someone who supports a nonprofit, or someone who has a life story to tell. Well, tonight I'm sitting down with nothing more, nothing less than Mr. and Mrs. Greg Martin of Martin and Martin for Corners Point. So get out on November 4th and exercise your right to vote, whether it's for them or whether it's for another party, but use that privilege that has been granted and afforded to you. And before I go, I would be remiss if we did not have a moment of silence for 9/11, for all of the fallen soldiers, all the heroics, all the brave individuals who dedicated their life and their time, and those that were fallen on this day. So just give me a moment of silence. Mr. and Mrs. Martin, I want to thank you again for sitting down with me, sitting down with Live with M. Dowe. I wish you nothing but blessings and success moving forward. And anything the Dowe family can do for you, please do not hesitate. And you guys are more than welcome to also put a sign in my yard.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, love, peace, and happiness. Good night.